Chris Stu from Booz Allen. I have a simple question. Can cost sharing come, you specified subrecipients as well as contractors. Could cost sharing come from contractors?
Depends on their goal.
Okay.
If they're only providing equipment, like you're buying things to implement your project, that would be no. Versus you have a contractor that's a consultant, or they're not a subawardee in the sense that they are engaged in the primary development of the project and execution. It really depends on the nature of the level of involvement.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Yongguang Zhang from Microsoft. So Microsoft has developed solid software foundations for Open RAN applications that can be applicable to many verticals. So my question is that many of our work involving identifying the limitation of the O-RAN standard and how to improve on them. So just for example, like real-time rig, that's not really part of O-RAN yet. I mean, if solutions that we develop meets all these requirements, but like leverage real-time rig, would that be something that you would like penalize because it's not?
No, that would be right in line actually with what we're trying to do. Look again, we firmly recognize, right, that not all of the specs are fully baked, right? But even, the O-RAN Alliance architecture very much includes a RIC, right? And very much includes an A1 interface to that RIC, as well as other communications paths between the various network functions. So yeah, to the degree that we would ask, right, that if you are going to be using Open RAN, right, that you use the standards as they exist today. If they are not fully baked enough, then a big part of what we're asking you to do, right, is to help break down those technological barriers, right? Bring new ideas to the table. To the, sort of goes to the AT&T question earlier, right? That if a standard's not fully there, and we've got something that can help advance it, is that acceptable? And the answer is yes, absolutely.
Another question is that AI is barely mentioned in the NOFO, but it has been, it's like big things in the technology world today. So we also developed an edge AI capability built into Open RAN that we have shown that it actually can do amazing things in Open RAN use case like spectrum sensing, interference detection, anomaly detection, like some of the use case that we showed in last year's NTIA RIC forum, for example. So I'm just wondering, do you have any comments about AI that being not really mentioned in the NOFO?
Yeah, look, AI is it's a critical component to the promise of the next generation of wireless technologies, right? The ability to have AI run, real-time, real-time modifications in the RF environment, right? Based upon what they see, right, is a very fundamental component of where this is going in the future. So yeah, I'd say, and I don't want to speak out of school here, Amanda, but I would say not only is AI not precluded, but we would encourage the use of it, right? Because that's very much a component of what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, we are the innovation fund, right? So the assumption was, or the hope is that AI would be leveraged and implemented as part of Research Area 1, if not 2.
Great, thank you.
Hello, hi, this is Tingjun Chen from Duke University. I have a question following up on Tracy's one. It's basically, how would you define a RAN supplier? Let's say there's an entity A providing software solutions, let's say an L1 implementation purely in software, but there's an entity B that provides radio hardware implementation that relies on different types of software running on the hardware. In that case, would you consider these two as two RAN suppliers, or the RAN supplier has to provide everything as a whole for a DU, CU, or an RU?
Yeah, I think getting to the spirit of this, right, it would be, we are looking for suppliers of RUs, DUs, and CUs, right? So it would be a stretch to say, well, we're going to, write some code and it's going to just run off this 286 platform that I bought over at Micro Center before I showed up, right? And I want to call that a network element and call that a piece of it. That isn't the spirit of what we're trying to do.
I see. But let's say if the RU vendor has its own L1, but the L1 can be swapped by another L1, which is provided by another software vendor, would that vendor be considered as a RAN supplier, or that would be excluded from a RAN supplier?
No, I would think that would be precluded from being a RAN supplier.
Thank you.
Hi, Irfan Gauri from the Open Air Interface Foundation. There's a lot of detail here. Thanks for that. It's very valuable to attend this session, even though I have read the NOFO itself in quite a lot of detail over Christmas. So, what I wanted to ask you, you mentioned MNO in the Surfa 2. And so is it implied, is it understood that Surfa 2 will have MNOs as one of the partners? And when we say MNO, is it the AT&Ts, Verizons, etc.?
They're not required to be a partner, right? So the RAN suppliers are the required partners. Would it be a nice to have? Sure, but it's not required.
Okay.
And it would have to be clear as to how they're participating or what they're bringing as part of the solution.
Right, because at the end of the day, it's they who will decide whether it goes into the network or not.
That's right.
Right. So that's why I asked: is it implied? Is it?
Yeah, in SRFA 1, right? Like that network could be. That could be any MNO, right? Or really any network operator. It doesn't have to be an MNO, right? It could be a private operator, right? I could just have my own little private CBRS network, and that's what we're going to trial this thing on. That's what we're going to prototype it on. That would be perfectly fine.
Yes, but I was speaking about Surfa 2 specifically. And there it seems to me that it's really the big names that we are sort of implying. I mean, this is the feeling that I get right now. Maybe, I need to go back and read the Surfa again.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on what Amanda said, about it's not a requirement, but also, every application has to submit a commercial transition plan. And one of the things that we're looking at in the commercial transition plan is customer and market demand. And so including an MNO in an SRFA2 project could potentially strengthen a commercial transition plan if you're showing that there is a potential customer that's on board to help test the automation solution and maybe even help, commercialize it, purchase it in the future. Something to think about.
Right. So maybe just a follow up on that. Could that MNO be a private network operator rather than in Surfa 2?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.